What's going on, everyone? Chris from Pickdawgz.com here with the Wraparound. We're going to be breaking down the NHL action going down on Saturday, April 26th, 2025. If you like this content, make sure you smash that thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. Let me know your NHL picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my daily $15 best bet, head to Pickdawgz.com, click the Premium Picks tab at the top of the page. Today, I've got my MLB pickoff play for $15, got an MLB 3-pack, and I've got a stacked Saturday 5-pack with those 3 MLB plays and my 2 best NBA plays as well. So make sure that you check that out. And again, remember to use the promo code PICK at checkout for 15% off your purchase. But we've got a ton of action on the board on Saturday's card. But we're here to talk about a 4-game NHL card. Unfortunately, the Wraparound didn't have a great day yesterday. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Just the reads just didn't come through. We had some overtime action and some exciting games, but yeah, it just didn't come through. But we're gonna bounce back today. Like I said, we got a full 4-game of NHL playoff action, full card of 4 games of NHL playoff action. Let's not wait any longer. You guys know the drill. You ready? I'm ready. Let's get into it. Our first game comes to us from the Amerant Bank Arena, where the Florida Panthers take on the Tampa Bay Lightning, and Florida has now returned home with a 2-0 series lead, and the Tampa Bay Lightning not in a spot where they'd want to be in, but I will say that the Lightning at least had a better sort of output in game 2 from a defensive perspective. They just got crushed in game 1. Andrei Vasilevsky did not look like himself. He looked a lot more like himself in game 2. The problem is that Tampa Bay's offense didn't show up. They were shut out in that game 2-0. It was a 1-0 game for a lot of that game. And I honestly think we could have a very similar style of game here. The Lightning don't want to go down 0-3 in this series. 0-3 is very hard to come back from. I made the mistake of saying nobody's came back from it. I was misspoken. I was thinking of something else the other day. My head just wasn't screwed on properly. But it has happened. It's just been very, very rare that you come back from an 0-3 deficit. And you don't want to do that to a rival. We're going to talk about another rivalry that's 0-3 later in the wraparound. But, the Panthers, I think they're going to, just try to execute the same thing. In playoffs, Sergei Bobrovsky is a thing. But, the Lightning, I think, are still going to just try to come out, not give up an inch here to the Panthers. I think they're going to just try to ugly this game up, make it a more physical game, a grinded out style of game. And I could see this game being low scoring as well. So I'm going to roll with the under here. I think this is going to be a goalie battle between 2 goalies in Vasilevsky and Bobrovsky, who probably think they have to, take the lead and win the game for their respective teams, especially Vasilevsky, just given how the first 2 games of this series has gone. So give me the under between the Panthers and the Lightning. Next, we head to the XL Energy Center for a matchup between the Minnesota Wild and the Vegas Golden Knights. And, the Wild now have a 2-1 series lead after another 5-2 win, a second consecutive 5-2 win for the Minnesota Wild in this series. But the thing for me in this matchup is that the Vegas Golden Knights took a lot of stupid penalties in Game 3, and it was a big reason of their undoing. I mean, Kirill Kaprizov had 2 power play goals in that game. And the Golden Knights had to have a shorthanded goal to bring it back to 4-2 in the third period. But I think that the Golden Knights are going to just try to lock in. I had to imagine that was drilled into their heads at practice that they can't take stupid penalties like that. I think that this is going to be a more disciplined effort from the Golden Knights. I think that the Wild are going to try to, sort of bait Vegas into a lot of tricky spots, but the Wild have just taken advantage of advantageous situations, like I said, like getting a lot of those power play opportunities. But Adin Hill, for me, he's not been that bad of a goaltender to where I just want to blindly just, drop him off, to where I think this is going to be a runaway 3-1 series lead for the Wild in this one. The Vegas Golden Knights are still one of the deeper teams in the NHL. They've been in this position before and have made series into best of 3s, after game 4, kind of like they're going to have to do here. So I'm going to go with the Golden Knights in this one. I think this is just a bounce back effort from Vegas in this one. So give me the Golden Knights on the money line in this one. Now we head to the Canadian Tire Center for a matchup between the Ottawa Senators and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Toronto with a 3-0 series lead here. And I will tell you this right now as a Leafs fan. it felt good to see the Leafs, have to, come back from that 2-2 goal where, Matthew Tkachuk is skating around, ties the game, screaming, our house, our house. And then the Leafs come back and Simone Benoit scores the game winner, a guy that had six career goals coming into the playoffs, and not only had the key assist, the primary assist in the game 2 winner, but scored the game 3 winner. But the thing is, if you're the Maple Leafs, I understand why a lot of folks would look at the Senators here because, it's the Battle of Ontario. You can obviously have the Senators play a lot more loose in game 4. They really have nothing to lose at this point. That can be the most dangerous team for yourselves to go up against. Is a team that's got nothing to lose. The Senators like, screw it, we're down 0-3 in this series. And a lot of their shots have been missing the net. They've just been trying to place the puck. They've been trying to be too perfect. And like I said, that mentality of we've got nothing to lose could play to their benefit here. Like I said, it's a rivalry matchup. You don't want to get swept. I'm sure that's in the back of their minds. The problem for me and why I'm back in the Maple Leafs here is because I think that Game 3 was Ottawa's best shot at getting back into this series. If you're the Maple Leafs, you do not want to let your rival, a team, like I said, that has nothing to lose, to get any sort of confidence here. If you're the Maple Leafs, a team that has dealt with playoff series collapses before, a team that has dealt with single game collapses before, you don't want to give a team a foot in the door like the Ottawa Senators because they are a young team that can get confidence, like that. So I think that the Maple Leafs, go into Ottawa, and just as bad as the Senators want to avoid getting swept, I think the Maple Leafs want to stick it to their rival and, for how chippy this series has been, drive home the nail that, the Maple Leafs are the superior team and really just stick it to the Ottawa Senators, knowing the history of this rivalry. So give me the Maple Leafs on the money line to complete the sweep. And if not, well, I'll see you guys on Tuesday for Game 5. Our final game on Saturday's card takes us to the Ball Arena where the Colorado Avalanche take on the Dallas Stars. And, the goals were coming at a premium in Game 3 as Dallas took a 2-1 series lead with another overtime victory. Back-to-back OT victories for the Dallas Stars, which is impressive considering that they're doing all of this without Jason Robertson. It's a big deal for Dallas to, steal home ice again. But the thing is, Jake Ottinger, he's been a little bit shaky in some of his recent outings. He's allowed 4 or more goals in 4 of his last 6 starts. 3.64 goals against average. Mackenzie Blackwood, 1-5 in his last 6 starts. He's allowed 3 or more goals in 4 of his last 6. I think we're going to get some goals to come back in this one. Like I said, we saw, 6 goals in a blowout in Game 1 of this series. And if Dallas contributes a little bit more, we're easily over that total of 6.5. Then in Game 2, we had the overtime game that went 4-3. Like I said, Game 3 was more of a defensive battle. But I think the goals are coming back in this one. I think we're going to have a higher scoring game here. I'm going to lean towards the over to round out Saturday's card. That's it. That's all the NHL action for Saturday, April 26th, 2025. Again, if you like this content, make sure you smash that thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel. Let me know your NHL picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my daily $15 best bet, head to Pickdawgz Premium. And remember to use the promo code PICK at checkout for 15% off your purchase. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys soon.